Welcome back to Monsters, Legends, and Conspiracies, where we explore the strange, the shadowy, and the supernatural. I'm Sarah, and today we're venturing deep into the frozen wilderness of Alaska to uncover the terrifying legend of the Keelut. Imagine walking through snowy tundra under a starless sky. The air is so cold it stings your lungs, and the only sound is the crunch of snow beneath your feet. Suddenly, you feel eyes on you. Out of the corner of your vision, a dark shape moves, silent, shadowy, and unworldly. This is the Keelut, a phantom-like creature from Inuit folklore, known to stalk and terrorize those who wander too far from safety. But what exactly is the Keelut? A warning? A myth? Or something that defies explanation? Let's dive in. To understand the Keelut, we first have to explore its origins in Inuit culture. For centuries, the Inuit people of Alaska, Canada, and Greenland have passed down stories about this spectral, dog-like creature. Known for its malevolent nature, the Keelut is described as a black, hairless dog with glowing red eyes. According to legend, the Keelut isn't just any ghostly animal. It's a harbinger of death. Spotting one near your home or during your travels is believed to be a dire omen. And if you're unlucky enough to encounter it directly, the Keelut might just do more than warn. It might attack. What's fascinating is that stories of supernatural black dogs aren't unique to Alaska. Similar creatures appear in folklore across the world, like the Black Shuck of England or the Barghest of northern England. But what makes the Keelut so unique is its connection to the harsh, icy environment of the Arctic and the specific challenges faced by the Inuit people. Let's talk about what makes the Keelut so terrifying. First, its appearance. Imagine a dog-like creature, but without fur. Its black, hairless body makes it almost invisible against the night, and its glowing red eyes pierce through the darkness. But the Keelut isn't just eerie to look at. It's silent. Unlike regular dogs, it doesn't bark or howl. Instead, it moves with an unnatural stillness, its padded feet leaving no tracks in the snow. That's right, no tracks. It's as if the Keelut is a shadow come to life. The Keelut is said to stalk its victims, appearing and disappearing without a trace. Its presence often foreshadows misfortune, illness, or death. Some accounts describe it attacking lone travelers, while others suggest it lingers near villages, waiting for its moment. But why does it act this way? Is it an agent of some larger force? Or is it simply a predator of the supernatural kind? To fully understand the Keelut, we need to explore its deeper cultural meaning. In Inuit traditions, survival is a constant battle against the elements. The Arctic is a place where the environment can turn deadly in an instant. In many ways, the Keelut embodies these dangers, a supernatural representation of the very real threats faced by those who venture too far from safety. The Keelut could be seen as a cautionary tale, much like other legends we've discussed on this podcast. It reminds people to respect the power of nature, to stay close to their communities, and to avoid taking unnecessary risks in the unforgiving wilderness. But there's another layer to consider: the Keelut as a spiritual being. In Inuit cosmology, the world is alive with spirits. some helpful, others harmful. The Keelut fits into this framework as a malevolent spirit, one that exists to remind humans of their vulnerability. Now, here's the big question. Are there still sightings of the Keelut today? Surprisingly, the answer is yes. Or at least, people report encountering creatures that resemble it. In remote areas of Alaska, there have been accounts of strange, black, dog-like creatures seen at night. These animals move silently and seem to vanish without a trace. Some people attribute these sightings to the Keelut, while skeptics suggest they might be misidentified wolves, bears, or even regular dogs under unusual conditions. But here's where it gets interesting. Many of these sightings are accompanied by other strange phenomena. Sudden feelings of dread, unexplained illnesses, or even deaths in the community shortly after the sighting. Coincidence? Maybe. But it's enough to keep the legend alive. As I mentioned earlier, the Keelut isn't the only black dog legend in the world. In England, the black shuck is said to haunt lonely travelers and predict death. In Norse mythology, the wolf Fenrir is a harbinger of doom. And in Native American folklore, there are stories of spirit dogs with glowing eyes. Why do so many cultures have legends of ghostly canines? One theory is that dogs have always been close to humans, both as companions and as symbols. A protective dog can be a guardian, but a spectral dog? That flips the symbol on its head, turning something familiar into something terrifying. In the case of the Keelut, its hairlessness and silence add to its otherworldly nature. It's not just a ghost. It's a perversion of the natural world, something that shouldn't exist, but does. Now, let's put on our skeptic hats for a moment. What could the Keelut be if not a supernatural creature? One possibility is that sightings of the Keelut are based on real animals, perhaps a sick or injured wolf with mange, which causes hair loss. Such an animal would look eerily similar to the descriptions of the Keelut. Another theory is that the Keelut is a psychological phenomenon. In the isolation and darkness of the Arctic, the human mind can play tricks. Shadows and sounds can become monsters, especially when fear and stress are involved. But here's the thing. Even if the Keelut can be explained away scientifically, that doesn't diminish its power as a legend. The fear it inspires is real, and the lessons it teaches are timeless. So what is the Keelut really? A spectral predator? A cautionary tale? Or simply a trick of the mind? Maybe it's all of these things, and more. Legends like the Keelut remind us of our vulnerability and our connection to the natural world. They force us to confront our fears, both rational and irrational, and they keep us grounded in the realities of survival. The next time you're walking alone in the dark, and you feel a pair of eyes watching you, remember the Keelut. Whether it's real or imagined, it's a reminder to stay alert, stay safe, and respect the mysteries of the wild. That's it for today's episode of Monsters, Legends, and Conspiracies. If the Keelut gave you chills, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share the show with your fellow mystery hunters. Have you heard of the Keelut or experienced anything like it? I'd love to hear your stories. Reach out to me on YouTube. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the unknown.